What's going on, everybody? You got the little mouth of the South, the man without a plan, the master of all your disasters. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful Monday morning. Today I'm here with a video. It's been a very long time since I've made a video, but I hope you guys are all doing well. I've been uploading a lot of Leo's videos lately with the Rick Walker show. It's been absolutely amazing. I need to get back onto Rick's show. It's been a very long time. Unfortunately, I am working midnights. Work's been a little different. I've been working hectically throughout the night, so it's not like it's relaxing, and I'm not on days. So it's a little harder. Me and Leo aren't working together right now. We're at different plants, but I still see him there and then, and always support him. Love you, Uncle Leo. But anyways, we're going to get into a couple topics here today, with first being, obviously, the Emergencies Act. Second, we're going to talk about possibly another rigged election by the NDP and the Liberals. And also, we're going to get into topics about, the by-election coming March 4th with Jamil and versus Robert. Go Jamil, personally, how he was called a 2-4, which apparently, I don't know if this is entirely true because I've tried to research this. Apparently, it's a racist term. I don't know 100%, so I'm not going to agree there because I haven't personally researched it, but I'm going to have to now. So I'm not going to, get into that because I don't know those certain facts. So I'm going to 100% say that. I'm not going to lie to you. But first off, let's get to the Emergencies Act verdict where Trudeau broke the law, where it was unjustified to freeze bank accounts, to trample people and horses, and all sorts of corruptness, especially suspending people's bank accounts for supporting the Freedom Convoy. Go fuck yourself. It was a peaceful protest. If people weren't there to experience it, shut the fuck up personally, because it was peaceful. I was there. I wasn't at the Ottawa one, but I was there still. And it was peaceful. People were having a ball, Best time in life before Justin Trudeau. It was fun time, Even the ones at Ottawa. Leo heard a comment or something saying that the homeless weren't getting fed better than they were getting fed better under the convoy than the food banks. And that says a lot. And Canadians are making over 2 million Canadians are making a trip to the food bank, which that I can't believe is Canada. And even then, looking at the cost of food, even going out to eat has went up significantly. An average burger and fries and a drink can cost up to $20. When I was a kid, it was $8 for a Big Mac and a fry and a drink. Now it's almost $20. Are you kidding me? I would, if the Freedom Convoy were to happen again, and I want the government to know that I'm not an organizer, so don't even think that. Would I go support the Freedom Convoy again? Absolutely, 100%. That was a great peaceful protest, and I would gladly do it again. Now, the Liberals are trying to appeal it because they're not happy. They're like, what? We got proved wrong? I don't like the sounds of that. I'm going to be a child and fight that, which unfortunately they have the right. They unfortunately have the right to protest that and to go against and to appeal it. So now it's going to take a long process. And if the Superior Court Justice denies their appeal or proves that there was no change over it, that Trudeau still broke the law, what are they going to come from that? Wherever the Liberals go, they're digging a hole regardless. They are giving this election to Pierre Poilievre. A lot of people don't like Pierre Poilievre, and I could get that. Everybody has their own separate opinions, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But you know what? He's going to gain this election because he is talking commonly with what people are facing every day. Trudeau does not care. And the NDP. They're focused on their agenda. And that's it. Even people are going to say, oh, Pierre Poilievre's adjusted to his agenda. But you know what? He's talking common sense to the people right now. So he's being smart. He's clearly smarter than Trudeau. That's clearly obvious without even saying, He's smarter. He actually can think and decide what he says. Trudeau, it's just... And you'd think Trudeau would learn. Especially with his fails, climate change. Even though that was proven, especially in Quebec, that it was not climate change. It was purposely set by an arsonist in Quebec. And funny, one of the Conservatives, which I agree with, made this comment saying, do you think he'd still get his climate change pay? And they're like, probably. They probably quadrupled it for him doing that. But then it was proven that it was man-made, not climate change. The Liberals, it's scandal after scandal, like Leo said. You had the SNC Lavalin scandal. You had the election scandal. You had all sorts of scandals. You had his sexual something scandal where, when he was interfering with minors in a school. Which obviously that can't be proven still because there's an NDA, which I think that student, now being old enough, should speak out. And now that Trudeau's at the end point of his term, definitely, she should speak up about that. Because that would put him in the hole even more. She has this chance to stand up to this clown, and I think she should take it. Because Justin Trudeau definitely was some sort of groper. I don't care. I have no regrets of taking that back. He is some weird creep. And clearly more unhinged than his father was. Because at least, his father wasn't good, obviously. I wasn't around for his father's term, obviously, but I've done research, and his father was an idiot too, but at least his father knew when to walk. Take the walk in the snow. He knew that his time was up, and he knew he had to go. His so-called father did the right thing and actually walked away when he knew it was time. This one clearly gets his mental state from his mother, Margaret Trudeau, clearly because she's got really fucked up mental issues. It's clear that he's got her mind state. Ignoring Canadians, mocking them. So was Freeland, especially freezing bank accounts. Like, you're mocking the people that were supporting you. Like, fuck off. And I hope those people change their mind to vote. Because if you believe this government still after 8 years, even without the NDP coalition before then, you're stupid. You're just simply stupid. And a lot of people don't want to give Pierre Poilievre a chance, but you know what? Even regardless of the situation, I think it's just Trudeau needs to go, and the only result is Poilievre to knock Trudeau down. And you know what? If Poilievre doesn't do good when he gets elected, then guess what? Vote for who you believe in. I think I'd personally just vote Poilievre this time just to knock Trudeau out, and then once Trudeau's gone, go back to where you believe. Because the only way that we're going to toss Trudeau out is Poilievre, and that's a simple answer. There's nowhere else that we can go to toss Trudeau. And Trudeau is mentally believing that he's going to defeat Poilievre. Good luck, buddy. And now, I want to talk about the election rig. Because now there's news that the Liberals and the NDP, mostly Trudeau and Singh, had a secret meeting talking about changing how the elections work in Canada. What the Liberals and the NDP want to do with our election is to make it 3 days instead of 1. Also, making it to where you can go to any district in your riding and vote. And also, they want to improve the mail ballot voting, which obviously was a big scam. And obviously, when we knew what happened with that, how many votes were dumped, and also weren't counted for because they came late because the Liberals screwed that over for mail-in voters. I personally, no, you should be going to vote at a polling station in your area, not your riding. And also, it should be one day. It should not be 3 days. Personally, there doesn't need to be a change in our electoral system. Like, in that part. What needs to change is how governments are fucking running that. Instead of making it a fucking clown show, how about respect the fucking law of how we run our election? There shouldn't be any fucking scandals for elections. Unfortunately, that is a thing. We're interference. Look at the Chinese interference election that we had with the Liberals. That just got scrubbed under the carpet. But it's still not forgotten. And the district maps are actually supposed to change this April, where it's going to be in more different rural ridings. Basically, I think the Liberals are trying to benefit from it, but in a poll, technically, last year sometime, I don't know, if it's still around, but it wasn't, I don't know if it's accurate, but it shows a sign of the Conservatives actually benefiting from this district change. I'm obviously going to take it with a grain of salt. I'm not going to call it true, but it gives me an idea, at least, that the Conservatives are actually going to benefit from this district change, And, the NDP, they're close to ending their funding debt. They're almost paid off, so they're actually going to not owe. And that's when people are thinking the NDP are going to call this election. Personally, I don't really know. You think that the NDP would actually take a hint from this district change, that they're not going to benefit from it, really. I mean, they might, but they probably won't benefit as much. So that's why some people are thinking they're going to call the election before April. Personally, I think if there were to be an election this year, let's just hypothetically say, if there were to be an election this year, I would say it'd be from summer to at least November of 2024. And if we don't see anything then, don't expect nothing till October 2025. Because I would say, obviously, because before then, Trudeau is using American-style politics, even though the left have brought left-style politics into Canada. Because, they're trying to benefit off of Donald Trump to win the election, calling Trump all sorts of things, and accusing Poilievre of using right-style politics, even though the left are using Clinton-style politics. If the Liberals think they're going to benefit off of this, they're not. And it's been proven that they're going to ruin their reputation by keeping up with this Donald Trump crap, It's not working. They're not getting the hint. They should get the hint if they're on the verge of keeping government, which that's obviously not going to happen. But you think you think that they'd understand common sense, which clearly, obviously, they don't. Not that I'm not a liberal. I will never support the Liberal Party. I will never support the NDP. But you think that they'd understand, oh crap, we're in trouble. We need to find our way out. Nope. Justin Trudeau just keeps his agenda. And you know what? I've heard a lot of these new immigrants coming into Canada, they're taking the support to come here. But how many of them I've heard in posts saying, I'm not even going to support Trudeau. I'm going to support Pierre Poilievre or even anybody else. They're like, I don't support Justin Trudeau. I'm taking the advantage of coming to Canada, but I'm not going to support him. And, I think immigration does need to be, tightened for a little while. And I know Poilievre has kind of pushed messages about that, but not being clear on it. Whereas he's saying he's going to migrate with immigration depending on how housing is being built. Like let's just say if there's 50 houses in a year, not like saying that's true, but I'm saying like as an example, he's going to have to migrate immigration off of based of how many houses are being built. So if housing fails, then obviously that's going to slow immigration down. I know he's not being typically clear on that, but I think he should work on that. But I think he's trying to also take an advantage where Justin Trudeau had, and that was immigration. Justin Trudeau did benefit off of immigration in his 2015 election. And personally, I don't think it's a wrong decision, but I don't think it's a right decision. But obviously, at the end of the day, for a politician, your goal is to gain as much attention as votes as possible in any sort of direction. So, like I said, I don't expect an election at least till maybe summer, fall, to all the way till November, because Trudeau is going to try to take advantage of this Donald Trump situation. But he might also wait until Donald Trump gets elected, because I'm guaranteed Donald Trump is going to get elected. I'm already going to just say that. Guaranteed. And what he's going to wait for is Trump to pull something or do something supposedly wrong, and he's going to take advantage of that before that election. If the election gets held in 2025, that's what Trudeau's looking for. He's looking for a Trump screw up to where he can pull his advantage towards it. And obviously, Trudeau ain't going to get what he wants. And that's what I say. Trudeau is running against Trump. Poilievre is running against Trudeau. Singh is running against Loblaws, which is true. It's weird. Poilievre is running Trudeau. Trudeau is running against Trump. And Singh is running against Loblaws. But personally, it's not going to benefit the Liberals regardless of what they're doing. They're trying. They're failing. Just take the L. And personally, for Justin Trudeau, what would it benefit for him to do? Resign or call the election? Personally, if he doesn't want to keep getting humiliated with all of his scandals and being called out on it 100%, call the election. That's the only way you're going to keep getting scrutinized for the wrong thing, or for the wrong things that you're doing. Like he's done so much corruption, and he's being called out for it. And he tries to shut it down because it doesn't work his way. So, personally for Trudeau, he'd benefit more off of an election than resigning, because obviously then resigning, he'd be exposed. And personally, that election, when he does lose, I can't wait for his crying fit on the stage saying, I think it's rigged. He's going to cry. And I can't wait. It's time for Trudeau to go and call the election. Don't even resign. I want him to get defeated by Pierre Poilievre. And it's going to be a great day when that happens. But it's going to be a while. October 20th is the election date, technically, because it's on the third Monday of October. So it would be October 20th of 2025. And if Justin Trudeau does call an election next year, like not 2024, 2025, I expect him to make the announcement in June or July. Because Stephen Harper, when he ended his government, because when it was coming up to the fourth year, he had to say something. He called it in June. And you know what? Trudeau is going to be gone, definitely, because he's a tired government. You can tell he's tired. He's done the same things for the past 8 years. He hasn't improved shit. And now that the Conservatives have finally found a leader with a backbone for them, because obviously O'Toole and Scheer did not have a backbone to go against Trudeau. Poilievre did, and that's why the Conservatives have gained a lot of support. Trudeau is running out of energy. His energy is gone. And every time he tries to gain that energy, the Conservatives can one-up him and even lower that energy even more. But sometimes it's to the point he gets very annoyed and very angry and starts whirling insults and shit that doesn't even make sense. And it's like, this is who's running our government? It's time to go, dude. You're unhinged. Like, there should be, like, in politics, there should be a mental stability check before running into politics. That should be a law. Because what Trudeau's doing should never happen again in politics. There should be a mental requirement check. And if you are unfit to run, you are unfit to run. Simple as that. And next, we're going to have a talk about the Durham by-election happening March 4th. And this is a Conservative riding. A candidate named Jamil is going to be running versus a Liberal candidate named Robert. And Jamil is more known than Robert. But I'm not going to justify, oh, he's popular, he's not. No, it doesn't go by that. But Jamil is a candidate that is in our same situation every day. He doesn't own a home. He's living paycheck to paycheck like the rest of us. And his reason for running is those reasons. What we're facing every day, he's facing every day. And he doesn't like that, you know. He would love to own a home. He's renting. And that's sad. And I don't know how old he is, but he's got to be at least in his mid-30s, 40s. Or at least early 40s. I don't know, and I'm not going to keep assuming, but he's struggling too. And like, even people that own their homes, they're struggling. Even Leo, like, not like his mortgage and stuff, but like, he stated his groceries, you know, it's the price of his mortgage. And that's for feeding a whole family. Because we all have, like, say Sunday dinners, or, your family comes to eat, it costs a lot. It's not cheap. Under Stephen Harper, I used to go grocery shopping with my family, at least at Costco, $120 at least filled your cart. Like, it filled your cart. Or back then, groceries were so much cheaper. You could actually get so much out of groceries. Now, you go with $100, that ain't going to get you hardly anything. It's not even going to fill your cart, maybe even halfway. That's how expensive everything is getting. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Sorry, guys. I got to crack a ginger ale. But no, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I think Jamil is going to win. Because it's a Durham riding and it's been conservative. But that's not really the point. It's what the candidate brings. And Trudeau is trying to say, oh, we're going to win Durham. No, you're not going to. Just like how they're saying Carleton's getting fed up with Poilievre. That's not true. Polls are still showing Poilievre is gaining massive still support in Carleton. Singh is actually in a lean right now with the Conservatives in, what's that riding? Burnaby South. Singh is holding on at 36% of the popular vote, while the Conservatives are at 30% of the vote. I don't know what the Liberals are again. I didn't really care to pay attention. I'm looking at the two main numbers. And it's a possibility that Poilievre's Conservatives could win Singh's riding, which leaves Singh in trouble. Because obviously, if you lose your own seat as a party leader, that most definitely means you're going to get kicked out of caucus. Or, well, yeah, you have to be kicked out of caucus because you're not an MP. And then by then, you're not a leader. And they want you as a leader to have a seat. And if you don't have a seat, you're going to have to try to win a different seat. So Singh could be in very big trouble for this. Like, Singh is going to get booted regardless after the next election. Trudeau, the same. Because if these parties want to benefit off of a new leader, they're going to have to. Poilievre, I expect to stay in for a while, even after he wins the next election, because the Conservatives have already had their refresh in government. because obviously the two leaders before then had no backbone. So they couldn't obviously win. Now they're going to win. Definitely. So the Conservatives are going to keep Poilievre for a while until his time comes, obviously, when they're going to want to refresh in government again. This is how it works. Even Leo stated, it's either conservative or liberal. There's no NDP this or PPC that or Green Party that. No, it's liberal or conservative. This is how this country's been, and it's going to be like that. But personally, I'm kind of glad that there is different parties, because if the NDP and the Liberals were to join as one, as like a big liberal party, that would probably throw a threat to the Conservatives. Because obviously the NDP would lean, the supporters would most likely go all liberal. Maybe some would switch to the Conservative, but I wouldn't expect a big jump, and that would throw a big threat to the Conservatives. The Conservatives' provinces that they need to gain right now to hold their majority would be BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and the East Coast. They don't need to really worry about Quebec. A lot of people are saying, oh, they need Quebec. No, they do not. And it's proving that they don't need Quebec. What they would need from Quebec, though, they don't need to win over the popular vote in Quebec. Like, obviously, the Bloc's ahead right now, and the Liberals are a little bit lenient. The Conservatives are gaining some support and momentum in Quebec. The CPC has not won the lead in Quebec since Stephen Harper in 2011, where Stephen Harper actually gained the most popular vote in Quebec and won a lot of seats in Quebec. Whereas now the Liberals are in trouble there, and the Bloc is kind of lenient there as well, but the Conservatives aren't high in there. But that's not the Conservatives' goal. The Conservatives' goal is to gain as much as they can in Quebec. Like if they could say, let's just say they're at 15 seats. Their goal is to go above 15, maybe 20, 25, at least in that range. Their goal is to gain at least a couple more seats more in Quebec. That's the goal for the Conservatives in an election in Quebec. So they need to focus on BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and the East Coast. That's where they really need to focus to keep their vote, like keep their seat projections. And that's where Poilievre's going to really have to work on this. I am a Poilievre supporter. I will openly say that. But I'm still going to hold him accountable for certain things, because that's about being into this. Like, I love doing this. I love talking to the people, and I'm going to be unbiased about it. I might still like Poilievre, but I'm going to speak the truth on that, Poilievre's going to really have to watch certain things coming to this election. It's all about campaigning, and Justin Trudeau is good at campaigning, but when people are that sick of him, I don't think any campaigning is going to change much. I really don't this time. People are really well fed up with Trudeau and the NDP. And it's proven. And you know what? That momentum could change, the Liberals could gain more, or they could gain even less, What I could expect, though, is maybe a possibility of a last change in voting. Like some people might say, oh, Liberal, and then they might say, oh, Conservative. Okay. I expect some last-minute decisions, and change. Like some people could go from the PPC and say, you know what, I'm just going to vote Conservative that day just to go vote Trudeau out, and then once Trudeau is gone, I'm going to go return back to the PPC. I expect that might happen. And this election is going to be a very interesting one, because it's going to be about the carbon tax. It's already been based. And Trudeau, Singh, and Poilievre are hinting at elections. Like Trudeau has been talking election, the next election. Poilievre has been saying next election. Singh's been a little bit saying next election. So it feels like to me they're trying to make these changes now to the election to benefit them, or to say that there could be an election this year. They're just changing things up. So then when they do, they can try to benefit from this when they do call the election. And Trudeau in 2021 called the snap election in August. That obviously didn't happen until September 10th of 2021. So technically, if the election after 2019 was held and they didn't call the election in 2021, we would have had an election last year, which obviously would have been a year after the Freedom Convoy. So, a lot of support changed from Justin Trudeau to Pierre Poilievre. So, I honestly would have think Pierre Poilievre would have won that election. But we don't know. If there's a snap election this year, it can happen anytime. And, some people are hinting at Easter might be a time where Justin Trudeau might have to make a decision, because Easter, we're getting close into, obviously we're not halfway into the year, but we're very well into the first quarter of the year. After tax time, we're starting to get close to spring, a quarter of the year has already went through and it's not looking good. And by the summer, it will be 12 months since the Conservatives have held a lead. It's like you really need to think about it. Where are we going? That's the message of the Liberals need to look at. Where are we going? We're not doing good. We're not holding any support. Like, our support is bailing on us. We need to think of something. And like I said, that involves to Trudeau either resigning or calling an election, which I think he would call an election before he resigns. He's already stated that he doesn't intend on quitting. He intends on running, which means Pierre Poilievre will probably defeat him. And I hope that happens. I don't want Trudeau to walk away and say, I was technically never defeated, because unfortunately he'd be right. So it's clear that he's going to run against Poilievre. I don't think it's obviously not going to end well for him, but let him believe what he wants. And when that election comes, just make sure to cast your ballot. And, we need to encourage more voting, because a lot of people say, they're all the same, blah, 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 this, And then they complain about change and they don't vote. You know what? It's not even just about that. It's about voting in general and voting what benefits you and what your beliefs could be. It's about that. And that's the importance of voting, A lot of people don't take advantage of that. It is about what you believe in, and whatever benefits you the most, Like for me, Conservatives would benefit me more than Trudeau. So that's where I'm going. And I wasn't a conservative believer all my life. I wasn't. I made the mistake of voting the NDP before. And this was in 2019. I made that mistake. And after I seen what the NDP was doing in the Liberals, especially in 2020, I said, you know what? F them. You know what? They're taking away of what I believe in, and, they're trying to control our way of life. And I said, you know what? F them. I'm done. And that was my first time voting. Ever. I only voted NDP because that's what I thought my family supported, because they worked under unions. And back then, people in the NDP worked in unions and believed in that. Under Leighton. I don't like the NDP, but I will say their best shot was Leighton. And Leighton, you know what? I respect him a lot more than I do with Singh. At least he was more for his people. And him and Harper could act like adults instead of Trudeau acting like a child. And when Trudeau doesn't get his way, he walks out of Parliament, which Parliament technically starts today. So Poilievre is already firing it up. Poilievre needs to keep a momentum up of keeping rising, because you don't want Trudeau to get the upper hand. It's to the point Trudeau is sinking. Keep sinking him. Don't let him float. Because then that will really end bad for Poilievre if Trudeau can get an advantage over him, which it doesn't seem to be happening. Poilievre is very smart. It's clear that he's very well thought before he answers, more than Trudeau. So it's going to get really interesting. I thought I'd make a video. It's like 35 minutes long. I'm sorry, guys. But I wanted to speak. about politics. And also, actually, I just thought about this. Sorry. I just thought today on AMA Hunter, Mayor Drew Dilkins made a comment about the Emergencies Act. I just thought about this because I was reading it before I started recording this. Dilkins is pissed because, I never want to see this Freedom Convoy crap in Windsor ever. Fuck you, Dilkin. You're the one that complained, why do we have to pay $900,000 because of the Freedom Convoy with all the barricades, because they put barricades up at the bridge. They made West Enders prisoners because they could only go through certain roads because the rest of them were blocked. When technically the Freedom Convoy cleared before then. The RCMP the officers, RCMP, put that there after the protesters left. And Eric Kurzmierczak, the Windsor-Tecumseh MP, the clown, he's like, the protesters were still there after the barricade. Fuck off, you idiot. Eric needs to resign. He is a clown. He talks about, we need to be better for our environment. Dude, you send me like a letter every month in the mail. Come vote for me for this, blah, blah, blah. You know what I do? I take your papers and I burn them. I use them as fire starter. And they burn good. Liberal junk on the paper burns good. And Dilkins is pissed because, we're going to have to pay this $900,000. Fuck you, Dilkins. You went against the convoy. You even put in the injunction for Leo, in the Emergencies Act injunction. You put him in there, but you got his last name wrong. So yeah, a lot of people, even Leo, I don't know, well, Leo knew this obviously, but I don't know if a lot of people knew this. Leo was actually on that emergency junction, and he will tell you straightforward that he was. But they got his last name wrong. Because Dilkins looked at him as, he's starting this. No, Leo didn't start the convoy in there. Leo was another joiner. That's it. Like, he was another act into the community, like everybody else. He just showed up. That's it. He was not an organizer. He had nothing to do with organizing. They can keep saying that he was, but fuck them. They don't know. The government knows nothing. This government does, at least. But I wanted to mention that. I just quickly forgot about that, and then it rose into my head. That's the problem with this. As I go, I think of more thoughts, and then they don't come out right away. So that's actually one thing that happened with Dilkins. He's a fucking clown. Eric Kurzmierczak, whatever it is. I know it's Polish. I am technically Polish, but I don't speak it. Kurzmierczak or something. It's Polish, so I'm Polish. I don't speak it, but that guy's a clown. And he's going to lose, definitely, in Windsor-Tecumseh. We haven't had a conservative MP in Windsor-Tecumseh since 1930. And that's a long time. And, it's time for these liberals to go. Pack your bags, Trudeau, take your final vacation, and stay there when you're gone. We don't want nothing to do with you. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for hopefully watching this video. Make sure to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Also, leave a comment if you'd like me to continue these videos, as I do enjoy doing them. I really do. I've been wanting to do it. It's just my schedule's been fluctuant. Me and Leo don't work together as we used to, We still do work for the same company. We're just not the same shop, sorry. Same company, but we're not in the same shop. And, our trade has been fluctuant because Trudeau, it's not a company itself really necessarily. It's Trudeau, When you're getting stuff outsourced from Canada and not bringing enough functionality in the auto industry here, obviously we know where that's going to go. Jobs are cut. They're going to have to make sacrifices, layoffs. I've seen already a lot. It's terrible. And it's only going to get worse from here. It's not going to improve. We need more work in Canada to bring our jobs back, to bring our people to work. I know some people that are still looking for jobs that cannot find a job. I know a lot of places are hiring, but still, there's a lot of qualification for these jobs, and people just can't get them. And they're simple things. But anyways, guys, like I said, drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Drop a comment if you guys would like me to do more of this. I would love to. And also, don't forget to drop that subscribe button if you are new. You have talked with you've heard from the little mouth of the South. And I might be also doing Convoy reruns again. If that is something you guys would like to see, also comment that, because I might start the 2-year anniversary Convoy reruns, which that was the best time of my life. And I have no regrets over it. Alrighty, guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful morning. Peace.